Hello, hello, we're live. Yeah, we're going live from our Zoom to YouTube channel. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I know the YouTube channel side is still running, but welcome to our abundance reading day 126. Just one moment. Let me put this YouTube video to be on our channel's live streaming. Okay, I'm putting it into a playlist of abundance 365 days reading. Yay! Now we are here. Let's get back to our book. Super excited. Today is Saturday. Everybody, how are you? Did you have a good time for your Saturday? Wonderful. I'm preparing for my daughter's birthday, and we are her birthday is on May 11th. We are celebrating earlier this Sunday with a big family, and we were actually preparing gifts for other family members to make up their birthdays as well. So it will be a very interesting birthday celebration for quite a few people. And we're coming back to our Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. Super excited. Okay, the underground playbook for creating a mass movement of people who will pay for your advice. And we get into the section 1, creating your mass movement. How many of you lift your hands if you want to create your mass movement? Some of you may say, oh, this is not for me. But if you are a passionate entrepreneur and you may dare to challenge yourself to want to create something big, right? You want to make a big impact. So this is for you, create your mass movement. And Russell shared his journey. Like initially, he's just a marketer, right? Trying to figure out how to do the marketing, how to make money. But eventually, he created his mass movement of ClickFunnels to help entrepreneurs to bring their message to the market. So that's why he wrote this book, the second secrets book. First one is .com secrets. This is the expert secrets. And we are now today on the page 5, secret 1. Okay, are you ready? Let's see. This is very interesting. The charismatic leader, attractive actor, character for secret 1, number 1. Okay, it's very interesting. He's starting the secret. He would introduce totally 22. Russell will introduce 22 secrets, and this is the number 1. So that means he believed that the one, okay, believe behind any kind of a business, the person, this leader is the key. It's really like a charismatic leader and also attractive character. And he developed himself into that one. Initially, he's quite a shy guy. He's a wrestler, and it's just like he's not very like open. He's like introvert. Even now, he's like doing the public speaking to thousands and tens of thousands of people. You can still see that he's speaking super fast, but at the same time, it sounds like he's a loud marketer. But actually, the fact is that he is an introvert. But he's doing a great because he's passionate. He wants to serve. He wants to make things happen. And he turned out to be the charismatic leader himself, an attractive character. Okay, now let's read. Every great mass movement has a leader. It's easy to assume that some people are just born leaders and others are not. It's possible that your biggest fear when you first read the title, Expert Secrets, was that you aren't a born leader or an expert, right? How many of you feel like when we're talking about expert, your first impression or response will be, oh my God, I'm not an expert, right? Or like, I'm not the leader. Or like now it's talking about a mass movement. How many of you are thinking about, oh, I cannot lead like a mass movement, right? You cannot believe how many people you could impact. In my personal life, I'm pretty shy and reserved, but when I'm in my element, speaking about the topics that I've mastered, I am able to lead. You see, people become leaders when they first try to master something for themselves. Then after they've discovered a path for themselves, they share their knowledge with others. It starts with your own personal growth, but then transitions to contribution. This is perfect. Like you do not need to immediately think about, oh, I'm a leader, but you just focus on what you love. And then more and more you turn yourself into a leader and also expert. Now here's a famous cartoon. I was wondering who made all this cartoon for him. Okay, growth to contribution. It's like first from yourself. This is exactly what I'm doing. And this is like a student. It's for the students here, right? Student. And the student is learning. this is like now I'm like a student, or even though I've been in the abundance coaching for 14 years, I'm now reading all these great thought leaders books, great books. So I'm like a student. I'm reading, I'm sharing my inspirations and turning into the expert side, right? This is similar to you, and then you could teach other people. Very interesting cartoon. So if you are nervous about having what it takes to be a charismatic leader, I want to spend a few minutes talking to you. My guess is that you are amazing, and I bet that the more amazing you are, the harder it is for you to believe it. Am I right? I've had a really rare opportunity to coach thousands of experts around the world in almost every market you can dream of. What's interesting is when I look at all these amazing people changing the lives of tens of thousands, and in some cases, millions of people, almost all of them have felt an internal pull to want to serve and help people. It's almost like a voice inside them telling them they are destined for greatness. How many of you have that kind of a voice? You are destined for greatness. Okay, if you hear that, even though it's maybe now it's still like a very weak, tiny voice, that means it's there for you. Yet at the same time, they have this other voice that consistently telling them they are inadequate, that they are not enough, not smart enough, not focused enough, not thin enough, not experienced enough, not good enough. The strange thing is that often the more they do and the more people they help, the louder the voice of inadequacy becomes. Because like sometimes it could lead some big mass, right? Because the mass movement, like the bigger of this responsibility and challenge, the more you may feel like you are not enough. Whether you are just starting this journey or you've been at it for a while, just know that the biggest hurdle you are likely to face is being okay with positioning yourself as an expert. What's equally important to understand is you are not alone. I really feel for people struggling with that negative inner voice because in all honesty, that's the way I often feel. I feel like I have been blessed beyond what any human being should ever be blessed with on this earth. And I feel that this gift I've been given from God is something I must share. Okay, this kind of gift. All right, let me see. Feel that this gift of being given from God is something I must share. It's just like, for me, this abundance message, God from God, must share. In fact, if I don't share it, that would be an injustice to him and the people I could serve. That's true, right? Yet as I'm out there in the trenches every single day, building companies, working with entrepreneurs, trying to change the world in my own little way, I still wrestle with these feelings of inadequacy. As I talk to people, I realize that these same feelings keep most people from ever taking on the mantle of an expert. The voice keeps them from stepping up and stepping into that role. And it's a tragedy for a couple of reasons. First, it deprives them of the experience and opportunities they should have. And more importantly, it deprives the people whose lives they could change. Those people you could serve by sharing your God-given talents and expert abilities. They might never be reached. Another day, I was thinking that, I have the vision for Abundance University, Abundance Center, Abundance of All Foundation, right? And then one day I was quite frustrated. I was thinking, those visions are too big, too huge for me, and I'm so far away, and those dreams will need a lot of money, and I'm not, that kind of money I could not have so much, right? I was thinking about multiple, like hundreds of millions of dollars, really building up like a university center, all this kind of thing. I said, God, please, I just want to take it easy. This is too hard for me. I say, but then I was thinking like, one day if I leave without fulfilling those dreams, gosh, I said, my God, I don't know who else could get those inspirations, the similar like aha or sparkles, the vision or blueprint, all those paths like me, right? And if I die, all those ideas, if I do not fulfill them, I don't know what kind of extent, right? But it's just like if I die without fulfilling them, it's just like those ideas, great ideas, just go with my life. Not making me feel very uneasy. I feel like that's a big loss to the, like a big loss, right, to this world. So I want to pause here and take a moment, not so much to convince you that you are an expert, but to give you whatever permission you might need to be able to move forward. You have the ability, and I believe the responsibility to serve others with your gifts, whatever they are. Okay, so you have the ability and the responsibility to serve others with your gifts. I think even the responsibility is more important than the ability, right? An ability you could cultivate, you could develop, but a responsibility, that's from from blessed, from inside and also from God's blessing, right? You need to feel and take that responsibility. It's an honor. It's really an honor to bless you with that responsibility. So I want to post here. All right, you've been blessed with talents, ideas, and unique abilities that have gotten you to where you are in life, and those gifts were given to you so you could share them with others. There are people today who need what you have, and they are just waiting for you to find your voice so you can help them change their lives. What a tragedy for them if you don't develop your voice now. The problem for most of us is that our unique abilities are things that come second nature to us, so they don't seem that amazing, and then we dismiss them. For example, I would say that one of my superpowers is being able to look at a business or the product line and within seconds know exactly how the owner should be selling those products. That's great marketing. I know what the scripts need to say. I know what the sales process needs to be. All these things just come so clearly to me. As soon as I see the product, I just know. For whatever reason, that's my unique superpower. Actually, it's through dozens of years of practice. Remember earlier, the day before, like the first 2 days, we introduced his humble beginning. Initially, things did not work out for Russell as well, right? He developed this kind of a superpower, unique superpower, by keeping his passion and also his guidance in this area and so many years of practice. Now, I wasn't born with this power. See, I've spent over a decade of my life studying this stuff, learning and experimenting with it. I've immersed myself in it for so long that now I can just instantly say what needs to happen. To me, it seems like common sense. How can people not see what I say? I might dismiss that skill because it comes so easily to me, but to other people, what I have is a superpower, it's a gift, and it's a skill that people will pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn from me. Not because I'm great, but because I've spent so much time mastering this one skill. I feel like to me, I really can see people's vision for them and say their ultimate vision and their direction. And I have that kind of really like a superpower kind of energy, abundance energy. Everybody it has been so impressed by my energy, that kind of passion, energy, vision. Okay. So that's where I think I could give people so much. And so many smart people, yeah, they have capabilities, but their vision is not big enough, and their energy is not big enough. They do not have that kind of passion into what they do. All those things. That's where my genius is my genius zone, to empower people, to really empower them into that higher level of themselves and a higher level of their vision, and also implementation. Hold them accountable to implement and realize it. Okay, my guess is that your superpower won't seem like the big of a deal to you either. Yeah, we have the superpower. Sometimes we do not realize that, right? It's just like, oh, this is easy for me. I have this energy. Why don't you have that? It will be something that comes second nature. Something so simple that it couldn't possibly be that important. If you are an amazing cook, it's not that big of a deal for you, but to someone who can't cook, it's a huge deal. Maybe you are good at playing piano, fixing motorcycles, building chicken soups, dancing, or something else. Look at what comes easy to you and what you love to geek out on. And the chances are that's where your superpower is hiding, just waiting to be developed and shared with the world. By the way, my another superpower is just study and for example, reading. This is kind of my learning things and get absorbed in all this kind of new things and energy things. That's also my power. I don't know how eventually it will really contribute so much. Initially, it's just, I saw this is just reading, right? But Russell, I'm not certified. I can't help people yet. This is one objection I hear why way too often. I'm not certified. I don't have a degree. I haven't been to school for this. How can I possibly claim to be an expert? I always smile when I hear these words come out of someone's mouth because I know where I came from. I ask them, well, I'm curious. You paid me $25,000 or $100,000 to teach you this stuff. what do you think my credentials are? They think about it and you will see something like, I don't know, do you have any marketing degrees? I said, nope. I barely graduated from college and I got a C in marketing. I didn't get good grades and I don't have any certifications to my name. But guess what? I'm really good at what I do. My results are my certifications. It's good, okay? My results are my certifications. Tony Robbins told me that when he first started learning neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, he signed up for a 6-month training course. And after just a few days, he fell in love with it. He gained the skill quickly and wanted to start helping people immediately. The trainer said, you can't, you're not certified yet. Tony said, certified? I know how to help people, let's go help. That night, he left his hotel room, walked across the street to the nearest restaurant, and started helping people quit smoking and assisting them with lots of other amazing things. He ended up getting kicked out of the program because he was practicing without being certified. Yet he's gone on to transform tens of millions of lives using NLP, all without any certifications. That's an amazing story, right? NLP without certification. Your results are your certification. I hereby give you permission to help people. You are ready now. But Russell, what if others know more about my topic than me? There is a book and a movie called Catch Me If You Can that illustrates this point pretty well. It's the story of a famous con artist, Frank Abagnale, a brilliant high school dropout who masqueraded as an airline pilot, a pediatrician, and a district attorney, among other things. There is a point in this book where he starts teaching a sociology class at Brigham Young University. He teaches the whole semester, and no one ever figures out that he's not a real teacher. Later on, when they finally do catch him, the authorities ask, how in the world did you teach that class? You don't know anything about advanced sociology. He replied, all I had to do was read one chapter ahead of the students. That's a key. You don't have to be the most knowledgeable person in the world on your topic. You just have to be one chapter ahead of the people you are helping. There will always be people in the world who are more advanced than you. That's fine. You can learn from them. But don't let it stop you from helping the ones who are a chapter or two behind you, right? There are, especially like if we use abundance mindset, there are abundant market, abundant people, right? All those people are there. The market is big enough for all of us to fit in. Like those advanced people, maybe they help some advanced people, but you can help people one, two chapters behind you, right? So we all find some way. Who do you want to serve? If you are going to start a mass movement and create a vehicle for change, the first question you have to ask yourself is, who do I want to serve? Who do you want to serve? The answer to that question is typically people who were just like you before you become an expert, right? As a charismatic leader, you are going to lead people on the path you've walked before. For example, me, I'm helping other life coaches, health coaches, like those, even include relationship coaches, those coaches, right? To help them to stand out in their ideal niche, to really clarify their purposeful and profitable niche and stand out and to transform other people's lives, to become not a thought leader and a confident expert and thought leader, okay, in their niche. And that's where I can help people because I myself figure out how to stand out in my niche, claim my niche and stand out as a thought leader in my niche. And I could help other people to do that as well, and also lift them up with their vision and with their energy. And basically, it's just really like here is a creative, charismatic leader. Okay, true believers. Okay, so here, there's the picture, true believers following this leader. Sometimes it can be hard to identify exactly who those people are. If you look closely, you'll find that almost all expert businesses are based on one of three core markets. Okay, so like health, wealth, relationships. Me, I feel like I'm in the wealth part, the wealth. So the abundance, right? Including how to launch your product, like profitable and impact business, stand out as a thought leader, and also the finance part. And I have a side business as well for finance. So all contributing people's abundance. Of course, not just wealth. It's including like people's their purpose, their passion, their life's let's say the life's overall attitude, mindset, everything. And then it's to like the business, right? You're passionate, what are you passionate to do? The business and the business fulfillment and success, and then the finance. So overall, it's like a focusing on wealth, even though I also have the health and relationships part, but that's not my like a focus the niche. And even though like eventually I help people fulfill their abundant life, including those different aspects of their lives, right? But if you really let me pick one core market, it's like more into the wealth part. So my first question for you is, which of those three matches your area of expertise right now? There's three markets, as you can see here picture. And next one, okay, now you've identified which core market you fit in. Did you choose? Choose one, okay, I know. Maybe your message is similar to me, like sometimes you feel like a cover different aspect of your life, but choose one more focused area, okay? We need to dig at least 2 levels deep to find your specific audience. Let me show you what I mean. The 3 markets. See, at least 2 levels deep. Here, there's another illustration. The 3 markets. Let me show you, okay? Like the first one is wealth. For example, he said, for example, the finance and investing and real estate, and then sales. To me, it's really about launching your profitable and impactful business, the wealth part, okay? And let's see. Actually, you can see that's like sales. It's not actually only sales, but anyway, it's like entrepreneurship and your business, right? The next one, health. Health could be like a diet, nutrition, strength training, weight loss. Okay, those areas of health, that's the next level. And you can 2 levels deeper, and you can see those small, those small bubbles from like, for example, from wealth to 1 level and then to another level. Okay, so it's like people call now, it's like a micro niche. This is like a niche, okay? And for relationships, you could like love, dating advice, and a marriage advice. Okay, so different areas, and then go further. Inside these 3 core markets are multiple sub-markets. The core markets, like core markets and the sub-markets. Some people may call it a micro niche, right? For example, ideal inside health, you could have dozens of sub-markets, like diet, nutrition, strength training, and weight loss. Inside the wealth market, you may have finance, investing, real estate, and sales. And the same goes for the relationships market. You could have love, dating advice, marriage, and parenting. Oh yeah, here they did not put the parenting here. I could add that here is like a parenting. Parenting from this picture is not there yet. And then parenting could have some smaller one. Okay, so you can put this illustration like more expanded. My next question for you is, what submarkets does your area of expertise fit right now? Some of you may think that you found your answer. You are a real estate expert or a dating or weight loss coach. But the money is not in the submarket. The riches are in the niches. Okay, that's a famous saying. The riches are in the niches. Okay, even though it's like submarkets, submarkets, like the niches are further down under the submarket. And there are one step, and those are one step beyond the submarket. See, so here, further down, you can see that from the 3 markets to submarkets to your niche. Okay, like those way. Okay, look around at the other experts in your submarkets and see what they are selling. What do you fit into the ecosystem? I think it's ecosystem. What can you offer people that's different and special? Different and special. The goal is to carve out a unique spot in that ecosystem where you can thrive. That's your niche, and that niche is one of the keys to success as an expert. See, niche is one of the keys to succeed as an expert. In the book Blue Ocean Strategy by this is where they're talking about the Blue Ocean Strategy by W. Chen Kim and the Relay Mob boggling. They talk about the fact that most markets are red oceans full of blood because of all the sharks feeding on the same small pool of fish. Very fierce competition. The submarket is a very red ocean, which is why it can be difficult to have success there. Okay? If you think about how these markets have changed over time, you will see that the submarkets and niches developed as a reaction to those red oceans. The first person who taught health, wealth, or relationships was working in the blue ocean with no other sharks or competitors coming after their customers. And for example, Tony Robbins, right? Tony Robbins started quite early, 45 years ago. That's why he's covered different submarkets. But people quickly saw the success, so they jumped into the waters too. Over time, the waters grew red with sharks feeding on the same customers, okay? And that's why it became necessary for people to create their own blue oceans. That's where the submarkets began. Initially, the submarkets is also like a blue, okay? Then turn into red. The first teachers in these submarkets experienced a great success as well until people jumped in there and blooded the waters. The smart people looked around and figured out what they could create inside of their submarkets that could become a new opportunity to those customers that create a new blue ocean once again. The mistake many people make today is they start looking at the niches, find one that looks good, and start building the company from there. The problem is that jumping into an existing niche is stepping into someone else's blue ocean. And if you are the third, fourth, or fifth person in that niche, then the waters are already starting to get bloody. It's like actually now the finance business a little bit like that. So many people are in that kind of like this red ocean, bloody. I suggest that you look at your submarket and try to create a new niche, a fresh blue ocean for yourself. Create a new opportunity for people so they'll want to dive in. This is what I mean when I say you need to carve out your own spot in the ecosystem. If you jump into an already existing red ocean, you'll be fighting an uphill battle. But if you create a blue ocean, you will find success so much easier. Carve out your spot in the ecosystem. Okay, here. This picture, very easy to understand. Okay, from the three markets, remember health, wealth, and relationships, and then go to the sub market. Each one of them has multiple sub markets, and under each market you could have like niches, okay, and so many other niches, and you find your own unique niche, and hopefully it still should be still blue ocean. Okay, I'm sure that this makes sense to you conceptually, but in practice, it can be a little harder to nail down just the right niche, one that matches your superpower. When we get to secrets 3, number 3 later on, I'll show you how to identify exactly what you're offering and how you are unique in your niche. But now, here are some examples to help illustrate those blue oceans. Very interesting, okay. Like format is core market to submarket and to niche. For example, health to nutrition to high-fat diets. Next one, health, weight loss for college students. You see, it's getting more like a niche, right? Wealth. Next one is wealth to real estate and to flipping houses on eBay. Next one, wealth to online business to Facebook traffic for e-commerce products. You see that? Both the solution and the market's more specific. Then the next one is the relationships to parenting, to dealing with teenagers, or relationships to dating, to how to recover after a breakup. Very interesting, right? For example, the dating, under dating, you could have multiple niches. So this is definitely some great examples. As you can see, you need to be a little creative to carve out your own niche, but it's the key to success. As you'll discover in Secrets 3, number 3, what you have to offer must be different from anyone else in your market. This is definitely a great idea for me, both on the coaching and also the finance business, especially finance business. There's so many people in it. How can I create my niche? As you start looking around at the other experts in your stock market, you're going to find out who your competitors are, what they teach and how they do so. Then you will start to see where you fit into this ecosystem. You want to create a message that will complement the other players in your market. Remember these words, complement, okay? Not compete with them. Complement is just like a supplement, right? It's just like whatever they've already created, you can create something to make it better and to fit in some gap, not compete with them, okay? If you do this correctly, all your big competitors will almost instantly become your best partners. That's the best game, okay? After I've identified the market I want to serve, I ask myself a few questions to make sure that particular market will be able to sustain my new expert business. Before I ask these questions, I usually back out of my main niche back to the sub-market. I will be pulling people from the sub-market into my new niche. So these questions relate to the people in the sub-market. Pulling people from the sub-market into a new niche. Question 1. Would people in this sub-market be excited about the new opportunity I'm presenting in my niche? It's like in that blue or red ocean, you create like a small blue ocean and attract people from the red ocean into your blue ocean, okay? Because you are pulling people from sub-market into your new niche. It's important to make sure they will be excited about what you want to share. You will be creating a new opportunity for them. And it has to be something that will make them interested enough to take action. For example, let's say your heart market is wealth. Your supermarket is real estate. And the niche you're going to carve out for yourself is teaching people how to flip houses on eBay. Would people in real estate be excited about this new niche? Here, normally I would like to read. When I read, I practice, right? For example, in my own case, wealth. I mean, also in wealth, but not real estate. I mean, like abundance coaching. How people launch their profitable and impactful business. So that's my, let's say, from wealth to launch your online business, launch online business. Okay, that's like a sub-market. And this to the niche part is like to help coaches, okay, coaches, visionary entrepreneurs to launch their online business. That is like impactful. That is for expert and also like for as a thought leader as well. So that's a little bit further down into a niche. Question number 2, are the people in this market irrationally passionate? Before we ask how passionate the market is, I need to ask you a personal question. Are you irrationally passionate about your topic? Yes. When you hang out with friends or family members, do you always bring up, even if no one else seems to care? Yes. If so, that's a good sign. But are there others as irrationally passionate as you? Here are some of the things I look for to determine if my market is irrationally passionate. The first is communities. There are online forums and message boards and social groups dedicated to this topic. How about Facebook groups and fan pages, YouTube channels, podcasts, or blogs with others geeking out on this topic you love so much? Like entrepreneurship, coaches, abundance, online business, launching, right? Vocabulary. Does the market have its own special language? In the internet marketing world, you hear words like autoresponder, split testing, and squeeze pages. In the health and biohacking market, let's see, they talk about the blood tests and ketones. And irrationally passionate market always has its own vocabulary. That's yours. For me, our coaches talk about what? Online business. Coaches will all talk about the funnels as well. And be the leader, thought leader, and the vision, and the niche. We talk about all these things. The online business impact. Events. Does this market have its own events? They might be online or offline conferences, seminars, summits, or masterminds. We have many for coaches, online or groups, pages, so many. If events aren't happening in your market, you might have a hard time getting people to attend the webinars and training. If they're already used to attending events, you'll have a much easier time. Okay. Other experts. Does this market have its own celebrities and gurus? Yo, there's so many, right? Tony Robbins, Tim Grossassi, even Russell Brunson, they're all like a great coaches already. There must be established experts already thriving and selling information products in your market. Yes. You don't want to be the first celebrity in the market. In a dream, right? It's too late. There's so many celebrities in our information industry. You want a topic or niche with its own subculture already established. Yes, go through these questions as many times as you need to in order to find the best market for you. I don't want you to waste any time, energy, or money going after the wrong niche if people in your submarkets aren't likely to follow you. Question 3. Are these people willing and able to spend money on information? Okay, let's quickly. So there are totally 3 questions. Okay, first question is like the people in this sub-market be excited about the new opportunity I am presenting to manage. I feel like now checking mine, I need to make it further unique, make it further how to make it like let's say launching your profitable impactful online business. Ultimately, even more excited. Now I need to think. And the question 2 is about let's see. Question 2 is about the people in the market that are irrationally passionate. I know that the people are irrational passionate and know this part. They want to, they want to become thought leaders, they want to become expert, they want to launch online business. They are passionate. And are they excited? Yes. And pass this too. And the third one is, are these people willing and able to spend money on information? That's a big part because there's so many choices in the market. So how some kind of an opportunity I create to them should bring some strong messages, some unique way. Sometimes people are willing to spend money, but they aren't able. They are broke. Other times people have all the money in the world. They are able, but not willing to part with a dime. Your submarket must be both willing and able to spend money. So far, I'm very interested in this question. Okay, because I found that most people in my niche, like the coaches, right? They're willing, but they are not able. Like they wish to learn this kind of thing, but some of them say, "Oh, I do not have enough money." Many of them are broke. My goodness. So they are passionate. They are excited, and they would like to invest, but they are not able to. So this is that's a challenge. Some of them may be not broke. It's just like if they would like to invest, right? Other times people have all the time, okay, we ask them. For example, I had a friend who saw huge potential in the video game market. He spent a fortune trying to launch his product in this new niche. But he found that even though there were plenty of kids playing video games, they didn't have credit cards. It's hard to sell your mom on why you need to buy a course that will help you play video games better. Even though the kids he was targeting may have been willing to buy, they weren't able to. That's true, right? Like, for example, I used to have a teen CEO. I still have that program. Like last 2 years, we've been running that in the summer camp. And you need to do, that's a little bit difficult because you need to do marketing both for the kids and for parents. Like sometimes the dilemma is either, like, for example, even the parents would like to pay, but the kids does not want to learn, right? And that's the situation. Okay, so you need to persuade both, especially for those parenting stuff or the kids stuff. You need to persuade two generations. Okay, but the opposite is true as well. One of my inner circle members, Joe Irving, started his expert business selling to engineers for hard-code jobs. What he found was that most of his dream clients did have money, but they were not willing to spend it on coaching. That's true. Majority of people did not experience coaching, and they do not want investing. I used to have like Fortune 100 company clients. They have money, but many of them don't know what coaching can help them, and they did not experience it, or maybe do not have that mindset and perspective, right, to invest. So that's a challenge. Okay, he spent almost a year trying different ways to sell his offers and had very few results. As soon as he started selling to a market that was willing and able to buy, he became an overnight success. I want to say more about this case, right? What did he figure out? Who is he selling to? who's like this engineer, is not an engineer, then who wants to winning and able to buy. Okay, who do you need to become as a leader? J. Abraham once said that people are silently begging to be led, and I believe that is true. So how do you become the type of leader they need? I've come up with a few rules you can follow to become a charismatic leader for your movement. Let me see how many rules. Rule 1, rule 2, rule 3. And I see I'm such kind of like a big vision person. I always go to say the whole picture before I get into details. So totally, let's say rule 4, rule 5, 6. Okay, 6 rules. Number 1 is become an attractive character and live the life your audience wishes they could live. Rule 1, become a leader. Like become a attractive character, live the life your audience wishes they could live. This is true. Many of the celebrities show off or whatever, show their lifestyle and attract so many people, right? They admire how they can live that kind of life. So in secret number 6 of my first book, .com Secrets, I talked about a concept called attractive character. We went deep into figuring out your backstory, character flaws, identity, storylines, and more. .com. So the attractive character, elements, and identity. Elements that you need a backstory, parables, character flaws, polarity. That's very interesting, right? They are creating some character there. Then identity, there are 4 identities as well. The leader, the adventurer, a crusader. Number 3 is the reporter or evangelist. Number 4 is the reluctant hero. That's very interesting definition, right? Reluctant hero. Somebody like, okay, I think I could understand that. You become a hero, but you do not really want to become a hero. It's just like you want to be a silent hero. So which am I? I feel like I'm also like a leader and an adventurer. Yeah. So we will be digging into some of the elements like identity and storylines throughout this book, but I do recommend reading .com Secrets, to get a deeper understanding of the attractive character. The key is to understand that the people will follow you because you have completed the journey they are on right now, and they want the result you have already achieved. They want to become like you. So this cartoon person, this leader or this character, attractive character, has all those elements and also the identity. Let's continue. Okay. The gap between where they see themselves and where they see you is what moves them to action and helps them make the necessary changes. So if you aren't winning or don't show them both sides, where you came from and where you are now, then they won't take action. That's why it's so important to live the life that your audience wishes they could, because that will inspire them more than anything you could ever say. Sometimes it's scary to become vulnerable and show your backstories as well as your life now, but it's the key to becoming a leader that will inspire people to change. Today, I just heard about a leader in finance industry. Very interesting. He was driving his fancy Ferrari, how do you call that? That kind of a fancy car, right? Ferrari. So difficult to pronounce that. And because I'm not a car fan at all. Okay. Anyway, he's driving that one, and somebody followed him till him get back to home, right? And another one watched he's driving a Ferrari. Oh my God, this car and his beautiful house. And that person, when they were stopped at some like a red light, that person asked him, oh, what do you do, right? So what do you do? And then he told him he's in finance industry, selling products like insurance thing. And that person, and then he gave his contact to that person who's chasing him, right? And the next day, that person contacted him and then become his team member. Amazing. That's a story that you show your life, the life you earnestly wish they could live. Okay, then it's like you do not need to even persuade them. Rule 2, maintain absolute certainty. It is said that in any situation, the person with the most certainty wins. That's true. The person with the most certainty wins. That's like confidence. I'm not talking about self-confidence. Okay, it's not self-confidence. Okay. As my body, Satarama Gali says, self-confidence is for kids. If you want to make an impact, you have to be certain. Very interesting, right? People differentiate confidence and certain. If you want to make an impact, you have to be certain. Certainty is what draws people to leaders to experts. Certainty. Okay, so here, this certainty, if it's not self-confidence, it's more about belief. It's about belief. Okay, you believe what you do, what you can create. That kind of belief and firm certainty. Gaining certainty can take time. It begins with you sharing your message often so you can find your voice and become certain in what you are teaching. The more you share your message with others, the more certain you will become. I personally feel like not just sharing more, but it's also like the more you believe what you're sharing. Okay, that's why I encourage people to publish their messages and their stories daily through podcasts, Facebook, blogging, Snapchat, or any other platform you prefer. Daily, okay? Some of you are better writers, and blogging will become your platform. Others are better through audio or video, and will likely be using platforms like podcasts or Facebook Live. Facebook Live, I used to use that. The platform is less important than the consistency of your sharing. Like now we're doing this abundance reading, right, every day. Years ago, as I was trying to understand what my passion, my mission was, and where I fit into my ecosystems, I set out on a journey to discover my voice. I started doing a podcast almost every day. I was publishing videos on Facebook Live and Periscope every day. I never used Periscope, even when no one was listening. Me too. Now, I don't know who's watching or listening. It's important to understand that when you first start, you are not posting this for your audience. You are posting them for you. Eventually, people will start to follow, but initially it's you. So you can discover your voice. I'm discovering your voice. Publishing daily is important because you will quickly see what topics and ideas people respond to and what they don't. Soon you will become better and better at creating and posting things that people care about most. I still like this is hundreds of it, but I'm still at I'm still figuring it out. Okay, as you do that, your audience will grow. You will become more confident, and your message will become clear. I know there are so many like messages talking people talking about how to become rich quickly, all this kind of like money stuff. That can really get people's attention quickly. I know that, but I'm not doing that because let's see, I'm still doing what I feel like make me feel fulfilling and also abundant. Over time, that consistency will give you absolute certainty and you will become your message. Now, number 3, don't be boring. This is the part, like a big part, right? Your audience must be fascinated with you and what you teach. If you're boring, they are not going to connect with you. I've watched a lot of experts come and go over the past 10 years, and I have spent a lot of time trying to figure out why some of them last and others don't. The one thing I've noticed across the board with almost all experts who've had success and stayed relevant is that they are highly prolific. Highly prolific. That's where I need to learn to be. When I say prolific, some people think I'm talking about producing a lot of content. While it's true, there is another definition for prolific, someone who has abundant inventiveness. Okay, abundant inventiveness. They invent, also you can say like creative. Invent new, unique ideas all the time. That's the type of prolific I'm talking about here. Okay, so invent new, unique ideas all the time. Also our content. Remember, we did the content challenge. We always need to have some great new ideas. To make the biggest impact on the most people and at the same time make the most money, it's vital that you feed your message into a sweet spot on what I call the prolific index. Very interesting. Prolific index from crazy. Okay, 2 sides are crazy. And prolific means money. And mainstream. Woohoo. Oh, see this picture. Prolific index. 2 sides, both sides ends are crazy, and the middle is a mainstream, and then the middle is prolific. That's where you make money. So between crazy and mainstream. I feel now I'm mainstream, and I need to go to crazy level. That's a little bit challenging for me to figure out. We will see. And I know I definitely have passion, have energy. How do I become not boring, become a little bit crazy and more creative? That's definitely a challenge. In the middle of the prolific index is the mainstream. This area contains all the ideas currently being taught to the masses in traditional mediums. Okay. For example, if you are a weight loss expert, the mainstream advice hovers around the government recommendations like the 4 food groups or the food pyramid for nutrition. While some of these principles may be good, I'd argue that others are flat out lies. Even if you believe those things are true, you aren't going to get anywhere teaching mainstream advice that people are currently getting elsewhere for free. See, mainstream, it's already like a popular stuff. People already know it. People can go to school and learn about all this stuff. It's common sense. It's not exciting. There's no money in the mainstream. Very interesting. Now, on both ends of this spectrum are what I call the crazy zones. There are plenty of experts who live in the crazy zone. And while you can always recruit a few people into the crazy zone, it's difficult to get the masses to take action all the way to the left or the right. One of my favorite examples of the crazy zone in the weight loss world was a documentary I watched called Eat the Sun. In this movie, they talked about how people can stop eating and just gaze at the sun. Yes, stop eating completely and just look at the sun. Can the crazy? Well, the documentary did get me to spend a few minutes gazing at the sun, but I'm not crazy enough to give up food 100%. And I don't think anyone is going to make millions teaching that concept. As a side note, I did actually love that movie. I just want to. Okay, we definitely need to watch more like crazy things, at least to give you some ideas. Okay, the sweet spot, the place where you will impact the most lives and make the most money, is right in the middle. Somewhere between the mainstream advice and the crazy zone is where you want to set yourself up. I call this place the prolific zone. I love that, right? When you are there, you are relaying ideas that are so unique people will notice, right? This is like challenge our extreme creative genius there. One of my favorite teachers in the weight loss niche is Dave Asprey from bulletproof.com. His origin story falls perfectly in the prolific zone. One day he was climbing Mount Kailash in Tibet and stopped at a guest house to shelter from negative 10-degree weather. He was given a creamy cup of yak butter tea that made him feel amazing. He tried to figure out why he felt so good. He soon discovered it was from the high fats in his tea. So he started adding butter and other fats to his coffee and teas. This experience eventually helped him create a national phenomenon called bulletproof coffee. People put butter and coconut oil in their coffee to lose weight and feel amazing. That's amazing, right? If you can lose weight, people would like to do that. Put the butter and coconut oil in their coffee to lose weight. So, to me, it's still like a little bit crazy, but I don't know. Scientifically, if it's proved, that's good. For those of you who are just hearing this for the first time, it may seem a little crazy, but not so crazy that you completely dismiss it. And it's definitely not something the government is going to recommend. Bulletproof coffee falls directly in the prolific zone, and its message has made Dave a multimillionaire. Did you notice how this message causes some polarity? Okay, cause some polarity. The mainstream will probably hate it, yet there is something interesting there when Dave tells the rest of his story and can back it up with science. It becomes a message that spreads quickly. When your messages cause polarity, it attracts attention and people will pay for it. That's good then. Neutrality. Okay, neutrality is boring and rarely is money made or change created when you stay neutral. Okay, don't stay neutral. I need to challenge myself. Sometimes I may stay neutral there. Being polar is what will attract raving fans and people who will follow you and pay for your advice. And so he further down put those that in this kind of a curve stuff. Let's see. Polarity, right? It's like in a peak. That's a polarity. Prolific and polarity. Mainstream is like a neutral in the middle. All right. As you become more popular in your message, you will also notice that people on the other side of a message won't be happy about it. By creating true fans, you will always upset those on the other side. I want to warn you about this early because often people, including me, really struggle when others get upset or disagree with their ideas. For every 100 true fans who follow you, you will likely get one person who doesn't like you. And for some reason, they always seem to be the loudest. Yeah, if everybody's agreeing, you're not going to hear that, right? If one person is against you, everybody hear it. If you search my name or anyone's name who has tried to create change in others, you'll find tons of fans as well as people who don't like us. It's like the nature of being a true leader. You've got to become okay with that because without the polarity of your message, you can't get to your true fans and help create the change you need. That's where I'm missing. My message is maybe more, it's uplifting, but it's also like a mainstream. I feel like it's mainstream. One tip I learned from Dan Kennedy that helped me cope with the small percentage of haters who will disagree with your message with this. If you haven't offended someone by noon each day, then you are not marketing hard enough. I love this message, Dan Kennedy's. If you haven't offended someone by noon each day, then you are not marketing hard enough. I remember sometimes that I remember I share something in the social media, like for example on WeChat, I have some groups. I shared a lot, and one day some person said, "Oh, you shared too much. Aren't you get bored of it? You share too much." And they complained I share too much. Okay. And J. Abraham said, "If you truly believe that what you have is useful and valuable to your clients, then you have a moral obligation to try to serve them in every way possible." J. Abraham, that's right. Oh, let's hear. Everybody's talking about this moral obligation. And that is why I'm so aggressive in my marketing. Yes, aggressive, but then you will offend somebody. I honestly feel like I have a moral obligation to share my message. Me too. I feel like a moral obligation. I feel like this is valuable. This is great. I should need to share, right? And then sometimes, occasionally, people will complain. Because it's changed my life, I know it can do the same for others as well. I want you to start thinking about your niche. What do you teach and where is it on the prolific index? Many times people are either playing it safe with the mainstream or they are way out in Queensland where there is no money. You need to find your sweet spot between the middle and Queensland. Okay, let me see. Because there are 6, I think today we will read enough time. And I want to leave maybe a little bit for tomorrow. Let me see, because each chapter is quite long. 22, let me see if 22 days we can finish or not. Don't worry about that. Okay, so I want to continue tomorrow for the rest of those rules, because there are totally 6, right? We've already read 3. So very interesting, right? I'm loving this book, actually, the more I read. Previously, I listened to Russell Brunson introduce a lot of the concepts from this book, but I reading it is totally another level because you get all this into all those details. All right, and by the way, after this, I will go to my Instagram for a few minutes quick summary. So here is for today. I hope everyone enjoy this, the niche one, right? The niche from your market to sub-market and to niche, and then the rules. The rules, especially the prolific kind of a index for the rules to become all those questions and how you become a leader, the leader's rules. Okay, everyone, make sure that you will come back, follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not, and we will come back to read more, okay, and actually share more inspirations. That's great, and especially how to practice. I need to chew. There's a lot of things for me to chew to apply to my niche.